Hello students, welcome to this online teaching learning process of subject mobile application development. We have started our fifth unit, that is activity and multimedia with databases. So today's our topic is activity life cycle. So in this topic we will study about the various methods of how the activity is loaded, created and destroyed in case of Android. So the course outcome is create Android application with database. Learning outcome of this video is include to study what is the activity and to see in detail what is the activity life cycle and its different methods. POs mapped are PO1, PO4, PO6 and PO7. So coming to activity in Android, activity is nothing but a single screen which is similar to the window which appears in Microsoft operating systems, or we can say it as a frame of a window in case of Java. So what is an activity? An activity is a single screen in the Android. The screen, simple user interface screen which we see on in the Android application is called as activity. It is like a window or a frame of Java. With the help of activity we can place our UI components like buttons, text view, radio button, checkbox on a single screen. Activity life cycle is controlled by 7 methods. The activity life cycle, that is throughout the life cycle of an activity, there are 7 main methods which are a part of activity class. The Android activity is the subclass of context theme wrapper class. So 7 life cycle methods describes how activity will behave at different instances. So what is an activity? Activity is a single screen which appears in the Android application on which we place our different UI components. Total 7 different methods are used to describe the behavior of the activity in case of different states. So coming to the methods of activity, there are 7 main methods. So the first method is onCreate. OnCreate means to initialize or to load the activity on a screen. We need to create the onCreate method. So first method is onCreate. So the onCreate method is called when the activity is first created. It is just like the onload event of Windows form. OnStart, it is called when the activity is becoming visible to the user. Now onStart is similar to the constructor initialization of the Windows form in case of Windows in case of onload event. So onCreate is similar to onload and onStart is created or is similar to the initialization event. OnResume, it is called when the activity will start interacting with the user. Next is onPause, it is called when the activity is not visible to the user. In case of Android application, we can pause the activity and move shift our control to the different app. So in that case we make our activity as paused. On stop, called when the activity is no longer visible to the user. On restart, called after your activity is stopped prior to start. Now what this means? That means the activity is stopped. That is, it is no longer visible to the user but not yet started. That is, it is hidden but not yet started. And on destroy means it is called before the activity is destroyed. So activity is nothing but the instance of the activity class, that is object of the activity class. So that object is destroyed when its operation is complete or when the user did not need that activity on the screen. So on create is similar to the new operator, and on destroy is similar to the delete operator, or we can say on create is nothing but the constructor and on destroy is nothing but the destructor in case of activity. So these are the 7 main methods which we need to remember in case of a activity life cycle. So first is on create, on start, on resume, on pause. Next are stop, restart and destroy. So this is the pictorial representation of the activity life cycle methods. So whenever the activity is launched, activity means the single screen on a Android application, in an Android application. So whenever the activity is launched, the first event or the first method is on create method. After the on create method, it goes to the on start. On create means the activity is initialized. On start means the user interface components are visible on the screen, and then it goes to the on resume, that is the activity starts, activity is running. In this case, whenever the activity is running, another activity comes into the foreground. At that time, our activity is paused. That is, it becomes invisible to the user, and the whatever the activity that is that to that we have shifted our control, it becomes visible. So in that case, our activity is in pause. So after the on pause, it goes to the on stop event, on stop method. On stop means it is no longer visible to the user and all the background activities are being paused. So in this case, whenever the two activities are switching the controls, the app with the higher priority is killed or destroyed. We can say it as destroyed by the Android process. So on destroy event is called, and next is the activity shutdown. Now this is the sequential flow uh, of the different states in which through which the activity goes through in its life cycle. That is, first is the on create. Whenever the activity is launched, first event is always the on create, then it is on start, on resume, then the activity starts running, it is paused whenever it is interrupted by any other activity. Next is the on stop event and on destroy. So after the on destroy, the activity is completely closed. So when we come to the on pause event, in case where the next activity is taking the control or it is becoming visible to the user, so the first form or the first activity is in the background. So the next activity which we are using will will get the control, and in that case when the next activity is being hidden, in that case our control resumes to the on resume of the first activity. That is, again the steps will be followed. After the on pause, it moves to the on resume. So these are the different states of a activity throughout its life cycle. So this is very much simpler to understand. Important MSBT related questions are: explain the activity life cycle with neat sketch and list the different methods. So 7 different methods: on create, on start, on resume, on pause. Likewise, we have to list the different methods. So we have learned about what is the activity and what is the activity lifecycle methods. So in the next part we will see about fragment lifecycle. Now what is fragment? Fragment is the sub activity inside the activity.